Hey everybody and welcome back. We are doing something a little bit different today and we're going to be ranking every single Minecraft block. Of course this is going to be part 1 because I don't think I could fit them all in one video. But let's get straight into it. So first up we're going to do a bunch of the wood variations. So we'll start with the oak log. Now with the oak log I like it, of course. It's an OG Minecraft block because of how you have to place it. You have to place it to the side and whatever, which does give it more variation for texturing and things like that. It does get kind of annoying sometimes when you're building it. So I wouldn't put it on S tier. I think I'd put it on A. Now, next up we have the oak wood again, but this one has it covered all the way around. But the crafting recipe does take away a bit of wood. So I think I'll put this on A tier as well, just for that, for different reasons than this would. So we'll leave it with that. Okay. We've got the stripped oak log, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's a beautiful block. I love all the stripped wood variants. When Minecraft first added stripped woods, I was really not liking it. I don't know. I was always under the impression that the logs were used for contrasting and framing. So when they added stripped and it's like the same texturing as the planks, I was kind of unsure about it. I love it now with building. It's such a lovely block. Super easy to gather and it goes with so many different blocks. So for that reason, S tier block. Now we have the stripped oak wood variant, which is just going to go on S tier as well. Now we've got the oak planks. Okay, so the thing with planks in me is it's kind of hard for me to like planks since the stripped wood came out. I don't not like planks, but builds that used to be built all out of planks completely now don't really look as nice because stripped oak wood are like big planks basically. I think oak wood looks good with other things, but if the whole building is out of oak wood, it's kind of like it's a lot. It's same with all the wood types, honestly. It's nice, easy to get early in survival. I'm not going to deny that, but I don't think it's as good as the log variants. So for that reason, it's a B tier. B tier block. Alright, next up we have the spruce log variant. So same wood, but spruce this time. So we'll start off with the spruce log. Okay, this spruce log is very nice. I would say it's nicer than the oak wood log. It's more contrasting. And it's just as easy to get as the oak wood log, I would say. Alright, we'll put it in S tier. Because it's better than the oak wood. It's got more of a contrasting, super easy to gather. Even if you make a tree out of it, it still looks nice. It still looks right. And I don't have anything against it. The spruce wood we'll put on A tier for the reason that it takes away one of the wood when you craft it. So I think that makes sense. And the spruce log, I'm just not even gonna. It's almost the same reasons as the oak wood. It's just beautiful. It's such a nice color. It goes with so many different blocks. Like, look at it. Isn't it nice? Isn't it beautiful? And same thing with this. Even though you have to take one out when you craft it, it's still beautiful. Spruce planks. I think spruce planks are nicer than oak. I think it's because it's less harsh on the lines that the oak has. So these ones are very contrasting lines. This one's a little bit more dull, which gives the impression of the stripped spruce logs, like more than this one does. But I think I'll put the spruce logs, or the spruce planks, on A tier. Okay, we've got birch planks now and birch wood. So we've got the birch logs straight up. I don't really like it. Like, I understand why it's helpful, but the log itself, because of the contrast from the side and the middle, it's an interesting block. I'll give Mojang that. It's very interesting. I'm glad to have a different type of tree, but it's just not very buildable. It's easy to gather, so I'll give it that, but it's just not as nice. So I think I'm going to give it a D tier just for this one. Now the birch wood, however, I would put up to a B tier because it hasn't got any of the contrast around. It can be used for texturing any white blocks basically, and it's great for gradients. You know, we've seen it in so many videos. It's quite a versatile block. I'm glad that we have the variant of all the way around. And I enjoy it. I enjoy this block way more than I enjoy this one. Got the stripped birch log. Look, you know my feelings about stripped logs. They're beautiful. So we're just going to put it up here because it's beautiful. And same with the stripped spruce, the stripped birch wood. Birch planks. I would put them at the same as oak planks. I think the color is just slightly blue, which is okay, but it's hard to match. And again, I like a lot of the darker colors more than the lighter colors. It's hard to have this match with anything. Like all of these it clashes with, apart from stripped, because it's the stripped. It's amazing. It's very hard to match it with anything. It is easy to gather, but it's just kind of not great. Alright, we've got the jungle wood variants next. The jungle log. It's not bad. It's got some cool textures. I was really excited when Mojang brought it out in one of the updates. There's nothing inherently bad about it. It's got some weird green bits. I don't see it as very jungly for whatever reason. There's not really much to say about it. I don't like how pink it is either. You know, it's just like a weird pink, like it looks like raw meat. And that's why I have an issue with it. So I think I'd put it just mid. I don't have any issues with it, but jungle wood, I have the same. Like, it doesn't have the pinky kind of feeling, but there's really little that you can build with this. If you try and build a tree, it's hard to get leaves that match because it's got a lot of colors. Like, it's got greens, it's got yellows, it's got very red undertones, it's got like a weird brown color. It's really hard to match with a lot of things. Stripped logs, I have the same issue that I had with here. It's too much like raw meat. Like, it looks, the green on it, it's kind of ugly. Like, I'm gonna put it in next to the birch. And the stripped jungle wood, I'm gonna give it the same. The jungle planks, honestly, I like way more. Oh no. The jungle planks I like way more than this because it doesn't have that green undertones. So you see how this has a lot of greens in it? This does not. It's just like a pinky color, which I don't mind. I don't love, but I don't hate as much as the stripped variants. I might move it up actually. A lot of people don't like the jungle wood, which I understand, but I think it is used well for texturing, even with terraining, because of the color it is. I don't mind it. I don't have any inherent issues with it. I would use it. It's not bad. I don't think it's any worse than the birch and oak wood. Okay, next we have acacia. Acacia's a weird one. A lot of people don't like acacia. I don't really mind it at all. The biome is ugly, mostly because it turns all the leaves very brown and grey when you have to try and place it. But the trees itself, I don't really mind. However, this log, I've used it quite a few times, and I have issues with it because of how contrasting it is with the orange and grey. Like, it's on their own, both colours are great. Together, not as much. I don't like it as much. So I'm going to put that on D tier. However, now we move into the other parts. The acacia wood, I love it. I wouldn't say it's S tier status because I don't use it all the time, but definitely high A. Definitely high A. Like, this can be used for trees so well, like dead trees. Oh, texturing with stone, perfect. It's so nice as a full wood block without the weird orange with it. It's just, it's a good block. I love it. Stripped acacia log, I like it. I think it's used well for terraining a lot of the times. I think I'll put it here though because of this middle part. The orange just slightly doesn't match the outside, which I guess is normal for a lot of it, but it's just really noticeable for me to see. So it's not my favorite. I do love stripped logs, and you can see this is the acacia is so spread out just because of how weird of a block it is. I really like it though. Well, let's move this over a little bit. It's good. It's a nice color, nice orange. It can be used well for training, but what can also be used well for training is the one that doesn't have the top of it, the one that goes all the way around, which I like a lot better. I wouldn't say it's S tier. It's not near any grades of that. Acacia is a lot more annoying to farm, I find. We love the stripped wood variants. They're very pretty. They go with everything. With everything. And now we've got the acacia planks. Now, it's weird. Again, a lot of people don't like these acacia planks. I don't really have much of an issue with it, which is why I'm just gonna... I wouldn't say it's on the same level, so I might put it down a tier. I think on C tier, I don't have much of an issue with it, but it's not as pretty as the other ones. Like, acacia is such a weird block. It's just all over the place. The planks are okay. Nothing wrong with them, really. They're good for terraining. But they're just, like, we have so many orange blocks. And I guess it's good to have a textured block in between the oranges. But for some reason, this block just doesn't really go with a lot of orange. It goes with some orange terracotta, but when it comes to, like, orange concrete or red sand, it just doesn't go with it. We have dark oak now, and I won't lie to you, dark oak was probably my favorite wood once it was released, but again, that was with a lot of the woods. The dark oak log, I'm going to put on B tier though. Now, let me explain. Because of how the outsides don't really match the insides, it makes it difficult to use. On its own, however, I would put it on A tier because it's a really nice contrasting block. I would say it's better at contrasting than the spruce log just because it's slightly more grey, so it's not as different of a colour. But I really like this block. It's so nice. It does really well with contrasting. It's just a pretty block. I think you see it in a lot of builds because of how pretty it is. And the reason why none of the dark oak is going to get S tier is for the sole reason that pretty much every single stripped variant matches its plank counterparts. Except for dark oak. Like, it's such a stark contrast. You cannot mix these two together because it is so different of a colour palette. This is so much more cool toned, whereas this is a lot more orange toned. And I have issues with that when I'm trying to build. It irritates me because every single other one I can texture with its plank counterpart except for dark oak. So the stripped log, it's beautiful, it's pretty, but it is irritating. So I'm going to put it down in B tier, even though I would say it's more of an S tier, but it's so irritating to me, and I'm going to put this in the same. The dark oak wood I loved when it first came out, but I think it's just too orangey. Like, the spruce I love, it's a bit more cool toned, a bit less intense, and I loved this when it came out, but looking at it now with a different perspective, not as good as I once thought it was. I think I'll put it on B tier though, because I don't think it's as bad as acacia wood. Okay, mangrove. Mangrove next. I love mangrove. I love it, but its downfall comes solely in the survival aspect of gathering it. It is the most irritating block to gather, or irritating wood variant at the very least. It is so annoying to gather. Gets knocked down quite a few points just for the sheer annoyingness of this. This one's on D tier with the other woods I don't like. Just the contrast of these two aren't great, and then the gathering it is also awful. I like it on its own. Mangrove wood, I'm gonna put on the infamous B tier because it's really nice block. I think it textures well with most other blocks, especially the stripped variants. And oh, actually, we're gonna move it up because the mangrove wood here I am able to texture with a dark oak really well. So I can't texture with its own plank variants, but I can texture this really well. So it does have that level of versatility. Stripped mangrove log, I think we will put it here for the sole reason of the gatherability and survival, obviously. There's nothing really much to say about it. That's why it's kind of in the middle. This one, however, I prefer a lot more. And we'll put this on the, what is this? B tier. It doesn't have the harsh lines. I think it textures really well. I love a pastel red. I think it works really well in Minecraft. I'm glad we have a brand new color variant, which is why I'm also going to put the plank variants here because it's beautiful. Super difficult to gather. Actually, no, we're going to move it up. It's easier to gather than the other ones, but it's a really pretty pastel red. I love this color so much. It's really nice. It's just so annoying to gather in survival. We have the cherry wood variants next. So first up, we've got the cherry log. These are brand new blocks, as with not as new as as old as the mangrove. I mean, the cherry block, I don't mind it. I like that we have a pastel pink. Pink is a block that we were very much missing out on in Minecraft. We didn't have a lot of pink, so I'm glad that we have more pink. But this wood, it's the same thing about the contrast of it. I wouldn't put it as low as D tier though. I might put it on C. The contrast of it, I love the purple. Again, purple is a block that we're very much missing out on in Minecraft, especially this kind of purple, like a maroon type purple. It's very nice that we have a brand new color to play with. I'm glad that they are expanding the woods. This one's going up a bit higher because, again, we don't have this color a lot. Super nice texturing. We've got the stripped cherry log, which I'm debating whether to put this on B or C, but I'm thinking more of C. We'll put it on B. Another B tier. You may ask. Oh, wrong one. We'll put this on B. I do like it. I don't deny that. It's a very pretty block. It's very pink, very nice. And yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's just, it's the stripped wood contrast thing again. These S tier ones, the contrast is so little on the tops of it, in my opinion at least. But compared to some of the other stripped wood variants, like this one, where it's really a bright contrast, which is fine, but it's just not what I like. This one gets moved up though, because again, pink is a block that we are very much going against, and I love it. Like, we have so much more pink blocks because of the cherry woods, and I'm really happy for it. I love the stripped wood variant. I wouldn't put on S tier, just because it's not as good as the other ones, I'd say. Not as versatile as everything else. Like, I can't... Oh, sorry, but these blocks go with everything. But with a lot of them, it's hard to mix together, I guess, without it, like, looking too... I don't know, like... I've had issues with building it. There's not really much I can say about it other than that. We have the cherry planks next, which, you know, we're going to keep it on A tier as well. Again, pink blocks. I'm glad we have pink wood. That took so long for Minecraft to add. People wanted it for ages. We were all asking for some pink wood, and we finally got it. And I can't fault it. It's, again, not as versatile as a bunch of these ones, but it's beautiful. Easy to gather in survival. Cherry biome is beautiful. We love it. Now we move on to some of the more controversial blocks, like the blocks of bamboo. Look, I understand where they were going for it, and I have seen many people use these blocks for pretty good reasons, but not as much as this one. I'm putting on E tier. I have not seen many people use the normal bamboo variant, and I can see why. It seems very difficult to build with. like I guess you could use this as a floor type because it looks kind of mosaic-y, but it's just not that nice of a block. Hang on, let's move this over a bit. It's not that nice of a block. It's the stripped bamboo is a lot nicer, so we'll put that here. But it's really not that nice of a block. I don't like it. The bamboo planks, I think I'll put here as well because it's kind of the same as this. It's like exactly the same as this. What? Block of stripped bamboo and bamboo planks. Why are they the same? Why are they the same thing? I'd never noticed that before. Okay. I guess that these make sense together because they are the same. And the mosaic, I've seen this used pretty well sometimes, but I think it's still. We'll move it up to C. We'll move this up to C because we haven't got this pattern a lot in Minecraft, so it is good to have that pattern. It's like an average block. I think the color is really hard to match with, so it causes issues that way. But it's not an awful block. I don't have, like, I'm glad we have this pattern. But yeah, I haven't really got anything good to say about it. Alright, we have the crimson stuff next. Now, this is going to be controversial for a lot of people because personally, I love these. I think they're so magical. I love animations on the blocks. It's beautiful. I really like these nether blocks. I'm so glad they updated the nether. For any of you guys that played before the nether was updated, it was not great, was it? It really wasn't. This one's going to be put into B tier just because of, it's hard to like this animation when it's broken up with this. But the full one, the animation is beautiful. I think it gets used for some really, really awesome builds that I've seen. Whether it be futuristic or past, I love the animation. I love block animations. They're so nice. It's a bit difficult to harvest, which is why it's not getting S tier status. But I think this one is going to get A tier status because again, it's the same purple, and I think these two really go well together. I'm happy with it. We've got these stripped variants, which I think are good. I think I'll put this one on A tier, but I'm going to put this one on B tier for the sole reason of the same thing as this. Okay, we've got all the warped stem, and this is going to be very similar to the crimson, because again, it's kind of meh for that, but I think actually this one I like a lot more than the red. So we're going to move this up to S tier. I know it's not as versatile as the rest of these. I think it's made some very cool builds though, and I really love the color and the animations again. I love how magical it looks. I think you can make some really cool builds, and it's pretty easy to harvest as well. There's not really, other than going to the nether, but once you get a sapling, stripped warp stem, I think we'll put it the same level as this, just again because of the middle, and this one can go up here because it hasn't got that middle. I think I'm going to put this the same because again, I love that we have some blue planks now. I love the colours that we've got now for wood, and you can see all we've done is wood, but there's so many different colour variants in it, especially as you move along as the updates go on pretty much. We have officially finished all the wood in Minecraft ranked. That is how we've put it. We didn't get anything on F tier, which is good. Stone, I'm putting on A tier. Let me explain why. So, stone, it's good. It gets used for majority of builds and terraining, but that's the thing, it gets used for terraining. And when I look at this, I just think too much of caves because it's naturally generated. It's just, if you add it into a build or you make a build out of it, it's just it's like, oh, it's a cave build. Like it's too much ingrained in my mind, I guess, is the best way to put it. I don't have any issues with it. That's how I see it. Cobblestone, however, is going on S tier. Cobblestone they're like the genes of Minecraft. You need it you need it in your closet. Like, it's just needed for every single thing. Great for terraining. It's great for building. It's easy to gather. Literally everywhere. Anyone can have it. It can be used for tools, furnaces, anything you need to craft it can be used. It's just, you can build a whole building or a whole castle out of it and it still look okay. It's a nice block. There's really nothing to fault about it. Like, since they changed the textures, it's a very welcome change. It used to be way too harsh in the lines. Mossy cobble, I have issues with this because it's really irritating to craft, but it is a nice block. But building a whole build out of it is not. It needs to be mixed in, otherwise it looks too iffy. So I'm gonna put it here, because making a whole build out of this doesn't look that good. If you mix in normal cobblestone though, it looks a lot cooler. If you mix in mossy stone bricks, it also looks cooler, but on its own it just looks okay. Stone bricks, I think I'll put here as well. They're good as a basic starter one, but you can't it's hard to texture it with much, because even here this one's a bit smoother than this, a bit more polished. It's got really harsh, like, blocky lines for it, but it's not awful. I don't have anything super nice to say about it, which is why I'm putting it there, because I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It's used for texturing a lot, which is good. It's really easy to gather in survival, which is also good. But building a whole building out of it, kinda ugly. Cracked stone bricks, I think I'll put here, because if you mix it with stone bricks, it looks amazing. On its own, it's really ugly. The repeating pattern is too much. You cannot make a build out of this on its own, in my opinion. People can prove me wrong, I'm sure. I don't like it as much. Mixing it in, perfect, amazing. It's meant for texturing. Chiseled stone bricks, we're gonna put down here. It's really hard to use these. I know that they're really blocky, which I think is an issue with some of the blocks in Minecraft. You can just see they're so harsh with the, like, boom, boom, boom. And I think it's hard to use. People can use it for detailing, but I don't think you could really use a lot of it. Mossy stone bricks, I'm going to put it the same here. Making a build out of mossy stone bricks doesn't look that nice. When you mix it with the other stone brick variants, it can. But stone bricks, for me, I just don't really like. We have the smooth stone block, which, if you guys never knew, we didn't have in Minecraft for a while. You only had the half slabs, and when you put half slab and half slab on top, it wouldn't make a full block. It would just make two, like, half slab blocks, basically. This is a nice block. I think the issue it has is it's very blocky, but it's not a bad block, but I prefer the half slab, I think. So I think we'll put it on C tier because it's not bad. I don't see any issue with it, but I don't see it as... Actually, I think I'll move these down to D tier. Okay, we did some move arounds. I've put these two in the D tier for the reasons that I explained below. And I've moved the chiseled brick into the E tier because I think genuinely if it was gone, nobody would bat an eye. These ones, again, it's the same reason, and I've realized it's not better than these wood. So it's going to be moved down. I think this smooth stone is better than both of those. So I'm fine with putting that here in the C tier. I think people have used it in good ways. I think it gets used for texturing decently well, but it's hard because of how harsh the lines are. We have granite up next. This is hard. So these are the blocks that were added that are very controversial, and by these blocks I mean granite, diorite, and andesite, to make caving, I guess, more bright. I think coming across granite in the stone is ugly, but I think it can be used well for building, but I wouldn't put it higher than a C. Polished granite I like a lot less. I like a lot less because of the harsh lines. And this is the same with basically all of these. The lines are so harsh. It's so hard to use this for more than just a flooring. I'll put it in D tier because I don't really like it. I don't think I'd use it at all. I don't think I have used it because it's just too hard to use. Diorite is a lot of people don't like diorite. I know that. I know that for a fact. Um, I do agree with them within reason because I think you can use it for texturing well with some other blocks. But I think people would be more happy for diorite to leave than to stay. Polished diorite, F tier. I hate it. I know people prefer it, but I hate how blocky it is. It's too much. I prefer normal diorite over polished. Andesite, however, is going, or andesite, sorry, not stite. It's going a lot higher because I think it's well used for texturing, and I do use it a lot, especially texture with stone. Terraforming, it's really good for. People would definitely be sad if andesite was left. Polished andesite, I have the same thing. It's going quite down next to granite, I think. Okay, now we have all of the deep slate variants, which as you can see is a lot. First up, we've got normal deep slate, which I don't mind. I don't have issues with it, but I don't like it as much as some of the other deep slate variants. And I can explain why, but I think I'll put normal deep slate here. And the main reason why is because it changes the shape, and you don't really notice it until you're building it. And you get like a weird pattern of like mixed stuff in between, and I don't like it. It's nice. People have made nice builds out of it, but I think people have made nicer builds out of cobbled deep slate, which is going S tier. It's darker cobblestone. I think people have made very nice builds. I think it can be used for floor, walls, or roof. It's versatile. It's a very nice black block that we have here. It can be used in a stone cutter to get every single other deep slate variant. It's beautiful. I love it. I love deep slate. Chiseled deep slate we have here. I'm glad we have loads of variants of deep slate. The chiseled one might be the worst. I'll put it here. No, we'll put it up. We'll put it in C tier. It's not worse than normal deep slate, I'd say. People have made cool builds out of it because it's quite a dark block and people can texture it quite well. I just think it's very blocky again, and the pattern is repeating. I don't know, I have an issue with repeating block patterns and outlines. It's just a thing I have, a thing that I see. Next we have polished deep slate, which I take it back is probably the worst out of all the deep slate variants. I think we'll keep it here. It's not great, but it does have a plus on the side that it has like walls and stairs and slabs. Deep slate bricks, I like. I like a lot more than stone bricks. You may say it's just a different color for stone bricks, but it's got more shading, it's got more texturing. It's moving up to A. I think the deep slate bricks are really nice. It's on the same level as good old deep slate tiles, which I'm gonna put it on S. I really like the deep slate tiles. Again, we don't have a lot of mini patterns on blocks. I know this is a repeating pattern, but I think with bricks it's different. I think it's a lot nicer. I love this, the deep slate tiles. They can't really be used as versatile as the cobbled deep slate, but it's such a pretty block. I really like how dark it is. It's nice. There's nothing else for me to say. The cracked tiles, nothing bad to say about it. I don't think people use them, so I'm gonna put it on C tier because again, I don't think people would be upset if they were left out of the game. Reinforced deep slate is hard for me because I don't even remember how to craft it or how to get it. I like it. It's different. It looks like a modded block. You can make some cool trees out of it, I guess. It's not awful. There's nothing inherently bad about it. So I think we'll put it in D tier for that reason. Oh, you can't even move. Yeah, we'll put it in D tier. You can't even put them to the side, can you? No, it's only up. You can only use this for detailing, I think. It's not something that's that pretty of a block. But I think we'll leave the first part here. We ranked, I think, basically all of the wood and stone types, almost, in the overworld at least. The wood and stone types in the overworld. This is how our tier list stands. So S tier is down here, A tier is really long over here, B tier, C tier, D tier, E tier, and 1 on F tier. But this is how our rankings sit. I think I'm happy with the rankings that we gave everything. Let's try and get it all in view. And yeah, I don't think there's anything bad. I might have to extend the tier list a little bit, I think. I'm gonna run out of room, so I might extend that a little bit, and you'll see it in the next part where it's a bit bigger, because we still have a lot of blocks to go. But I'm glad that we got all the woods and stones, which are the basics, all tier listed up, and it's a lot on the higher spectrum just because these are the blocks that are easy to gather. They're like everywhere. They're used for most things because they're just stone and wood. Some of the more adventurous blocks that we'll get with some of the colours and everything, that's going to be a bit different and probably more biased because we'll be looking at it in the basis of like, what's my favorite color? Pretty much. That's how we'll be looking at it. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the tier list that we've got. And I hope you enjoyed this part. And let me know if you don't agree with some of the things I've put down and why. Because, again, these are all my opinions, and I understand people have different opinions. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this part nonetheless. And I'm happy with the tier. I think I'm okay with it. Let me know if you are. And I'll see you in the next part. Bye!